what's up? Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem.
So let's talk about Amazon.
Let's do it.
Amazon. 52-week high was $3,700. It announced that it was going to do a stock split and proceeded to fall off a cliff ever since. It's currently at 24, a little 24.79 right now in the after hours.
Okay.
Went down 25%, shed 25% in value last week.
On earnings, yeah.
Bad earnings. The union actually, I don't know if you saw that, but they lost, and in Staten Island. That's a whole thing. They try and say that Amazon put pressure on the employees because the first center in Staten Island passed the union, and that was like a big thing. And then the second one in Staten Island, they just voted against the union. So they've got all kinds of issues, supply chain issues. They got union issues. They got a bunch of different issues. You liked Amazon.
I still like Amazon.
That's my baby.
I still like Amazon. So like that Rivian, it was an issue too, right? They had 20% stake in the company. Rivion's profits the stock got cut in half, right? They're down 50%.
Yeah, like remember when Diddy had the ban? This is a version of that.
Yeah, so if their margins drop, then your margin's going to drop. But I still believe in Amazon. Even with that being said, right? Obviously, their future guidance, we got to look at it peel back for a little bit. If we look at it from a 1-year span, right, it looks like there's slow growth. If we look at it a 2-year span, the picture looks a little bit different, right? And so here's the positive things why I still like Amazon. AWS, which is still the number one cloud service, right? They posted 30% growth for the first quarter. Now that's down, right? So the last 3 quarters, I think was 28%, 40%. They posted 37% growth. That's positive looking forward. They had to pay a lot of money over the past 2 quarters, right? The cost for labor, number one. So they had to hire more people. And they increased salaries. They increased what they were paying people. But in order to expand and to have infrastructure, the labor cost to do it costs more. That hopefully will subside over the next 2 quarters. We shouldn't even say hopefully, most likely will. In the second half of the year, they have Amazon Prime Day, which is big. It's their biggest day of the year for selling. So that's another positive. In addition to that, their stock split is coming up on the 3rd. And we know when we see a stock split, we see a new influx, especially with all these retail traders who are still here in this market. They're still here. When we see stock splits, and if it splits now at 21, I think each share would be $124 a share. You're going to see more retail investors decide that this is now at a price that I want to get involved. And so that's going to bring an influx of more income into Amazon's stock. So I said it was my stock. I'm sticking by it. Shout out to Amazon.
Yeah, and I'll say this publicly. Amazon's a core holder in Red Panda Stock Club. So the biggest threat that they currently have is a supply chain issue. So if they can't get enough inventory, of course, it's going to affect the numbers. One of the biggest opportunities that they have, like you said, is that split coming up. So, I mean, they were priced out of the market. So if they're $2,400 a share, not that many people can afford it. If it comes down to $120, it's going to knock some other fan favorites right out of the way. And let's be honest, most of you are still ordering stuff through Amazon Prime like crazy. So amazing business. Even with Bezos not running it, great company, probably has at least another 14.3 years to be dominant.
Yeah.
Hold on to it.
So and we spoke about this in Houston, the economic moat, right? They have a huge moat over the competition. Even if there is competition, they have the type of capital to weigh them out. Either they can acquire them or they can cut their prices to a point where the competition can't compete with them. And they'll automatically, in long term, go out of business. They always play long-term game.
So is this an opportunity to buy or no?
If it cracks underneath 25 or right at, I mean, I can't get a price to get stock club, but yes. But definitely after the split, great investment. Great investment, please. Because honestly, if you have to go out and shop, will you get the items faster? I don't care where you like to buy from. They have a control. Like if there was a place called The Store, they would be it.
Mm-hmm.
So until you have a better experience, faster shipping, more members, they are Please write this down. As long as you invest in the top 2 companies in the space, you are fine. We do not have to make this complicated. Follow what the 5 richest people are doing. Top 5 governments, top 5 countries, invest in the top 2, wrap it up. That's it. A lot of them, let's be honest, a lot of the mistakes, if anyone has made them from watching the show, has been deviating from the plan and trying to find a winner that's 24th through 80. There's only one Giannis. There's only one Kyrie. Shout out to my guy. Shout out to Kevin Durant. Listen, there's all-stars, superstars, and then you have bench players. Leave the bench players alone. If you trade them, great. Long term, you only have to pick the superstars in the game and you'll be good.
Super megastars.
True indeed.
That's a megastar. Amazon's a megastar.
Oh, yeah. There you have it. 6,600 people want to check in. Hit the like button and share. Greatly appreciate it.
We get to 8,000. We may
make it rain.
Hey.
Hit the like button and share. Okay. So this is the worst start of the year for stocks since 1970. The worst start for bonds since 1990. And it's also a 40-year high of inflation. So what does this tell us about the global economy and the market overall?
Traditional investment advice does not work. I've been saying it forever. 80-20 split, 80-20, 80% equities, 20% bonds, 30% bonds, 70% equities. That is the advice that they give when they don't want to tell you the truth. People that are really rich are not running that. Please put this in chat. The secrets of the truly wealthy usually do not get shared. I have not met one wealthy person that has 70% equities and 30% bonds in their portfolio. I knew somebody who worked at it's not PIMCO, one of the biggest bond firms in the country who did not have bonds in his portfolio. There's advice that they give you for public consumption, and then there's the real strategies that they actually use. The key lesson I want everyone to take away from this is you have to find your own formula. For me, long-term investing, those 2 Tech 2 Index, plus trading to be able to get gains. And you know how I know everyone believes in that? Because when Kathy came out and she was like, yo, 19,000% return, everyone was like, yep, we deserve that. The whole thing around Bitcoin is that it will outperform, which it has, every other asset class. You have to find a formula that is going to get you gains in an up market or down market. But traditional investing advice does not work. That's my key takeaway.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. You know what I would encourage people to do? Actually study like what bonds are. I hear they'll hear it on CNBC and they hear us we might say a few things about it, but they have no idea. And so I would, one of our great resources, Investopedia. Shout out to our guy Caleb.
Absolutely.
It gives you everything you need to know. Like I remember like maybe 3 weeks ago, I had it like question to myself. I'm like, let me just figure this out real quick. Then I'm gonna ask Ian and see, like, first let me call him and see what this is all about. But studying that, understanding what the 10-year treasury bond looks like and why when it over 3, the market dropped to a low today. And when it went back under 3, the market rose. Like understanding the correlation between those things are important. And so when you hear these things, it's not like, oh, they're just talking. Like, nah, like, wait, that's a key nugget. Let me really figure out what that means to the actual economy.
BND, the Vanguard Total Bond Market ETF, is at 5. The low is 73 and some change. So if you followed a traditional plan, you would be down on both long-term investments and the bond market. That's a terrible feeling to be down in both, because that's what breaks your spirit. Is when and this is the reason, like when 08 came, I was like, let me find my own formula, because everything everyone else was telling me. That's why I always tell you, if you guys watch the show, don't believe anything I say. Go test it out. If I made you money, please put yes in chat. And even for me, if interest rates or inflation go to 18 or 19%, it destroys my 2 Tech 2 Index philosophy. Go to 21%. Got another little strategy, though. You always have to be prepared for the worst case scenario. Always. My biggest financial fear on earth, somebody buys one of these trading brokerages and there's no discounted trading. But even if so, have to have a backup plan. You have to. Traditional advice does not work for the majority of people. So I appreciate you guys so much. Yeah. I know it's a hot take, and I know some advisors are going to be mad, but the 80-20 matrix is not where it is. Now, it works incredibly well during times of quantitative easing. Homework assignment. If I was watching, this is what I want to know. And I know no one's ever talked about this. Only look at the years where there was not quantitative easing. What 3 sectors did best in those times, and what were the average rates of return in the stock market without quantitative easing? I want you to go back to the 1800s through now to get that data. Now, if you know how to make money in the worst of markets, when we finally get quantitative easing back in, like in 2028, oh man, you're gonna be rich as hell. You're gonna be rich as hell. It's like if you're playing ball and you're playing like, let's say we're playing like 5 on 15. Oh my God. Tough. When we finally get to 5 on 5 fair matchup, easy win. Right now, we are playing bully ball with quantitative destruction. But once we get out of the cycle and no storm lasts forever, it'll make you a hell of an investor and a lot of money in the future.
And if I made you money, put yes in chat.
Big Fendi.
Big Fendi.
What other show has? I'm being real.
This that Red Panda Anthem. Ian, what's up? This that Red Panda Anthem. Red Panda, what's good? Red Panda Anthem. Whole court going up. I know they can't stand